Thank you all for being here. So my name is Etienne Decherf. I'm working for a French company called Vernier Hydro. Luckily for you, I won't speak about entities because my knowledge is close from zero on this topic. And unfortunately for you, my English is just a bit better than this knowledge. So please accept my apologies for the mistake I will make. So today, we will have a look at innovative solutions for sustainable management of water supply equipment in rural areas, because we are all aware of how important basic access to potable water is. That's why we wanted to focus on this. Where is it? So who we are? Quickly, Vernier Hydro is part of a French group of 3 entities dealing with wind, sun energy, and water supply. And we at the water company Vernier Hydro are the historical part of the company. So we have started our activities 40 years ago, mainly in Africa. And we are dealing mainly with hand pumps, which actually are foot pumps, but let's say human-powered pumps. And so far we have installed 100,000 of them, mainly in Africa, as I was saying. We have some representative agents in Latin America, and we lately expand our activities towards Asia, So just a few words, I don't want to be too technical, about the Vernier pumps, which are different from the classical pump, if you know them. All pumps are using a mechanical transmission, meaning by that you have columns, rods, and suction device at the bottom of the borehole. We are using an hydraulic transmission, so you can see in the picture that the pump body is linked to the fountain thanks to 2 plastic HDPE hoses. Everything is full with water, and when you press the pedal or the lever, you push water within a rubber bladder that elongates within the pump body, allowing the water to be pushed up in the discharge hose. So it has several advantages. The main one is that we have all the wearing parts are located at the surface. The pump can go deeper, and we, of course, try to use only stainless steel and corrosion-free components. But what's important here for this presentation is the fact that it's a pressure pump. So we can keep the pressure at the spout level, allowing us to think about several applications, such as filling in a tank, or we'll see metering the water. So a few pictures of the pumps we are manufacturing. For those who knows a bit about hand pumps, you see a classical India Mark II pump head. So it has been adapted to the hydraulic transmission in order to have the user, to let to the user the choice of the foot or arm operation. So now let's go in our topic. So the global situation, and I'm speaking about all type of pump, not only Vernier, is that it's not working very well. We have 30 to 40% failure rate of all this kind of equipment in Africa. So why? It could be due to an inadapted governance for the maintenance, the management maintenance system. But anyway, it raises 2 main issues. The first one is that the water service delivery is not ensured for the rural inhabitants. The second one is the lack of interest for this sector. And this lack of interest can be, of course, for the user. Why should I pay for something that doesn't work very well? But also from the financial backers. Why should I invest in something that I have done for 40 years and obviously is not perfect? So we have 3 main concerns here for the rural people. Obviously, is to provide them a real continuous service for their water supply, to stimulate the maintenance and after-sales services regarding this kind of equipment, and to restore this trust relationship in order to tackle this lack of interest between the financial backers and the local governments. So the objectives, eventually, are to decrease waterborne disease hazards, to decrease poverty, of course, and what's important for us is to promote the rural sector and the rural development through local income generation. So, to guarantee the sustainable potable water supply service in rural areas, we believe that we won't reach this sustainability without money, meaning by that people must pay as they fetch their water. We will not reach sustainability without portability, and we will not reach sustainability if we don't have a close and I will have a transparent monitoring of the complete supply chain. So for us, pay as you fetch means precise metering. So you remember the fact that the pump is a pressure pump, allowed us to put a water meter directly on the pump. It's on basics, but it's quite difficult to achieve. And obviously, you can read directly the quantity of water you have pumped out. So if you pay for 20 liter, you will have your 20 liter. Portability is a more global issue, and it should start from the borehole. We must ensure to deliver potable water to rural inhabitants. They deserve the same quality of water than people in the urban sector. But sometimes you have to treat water. So one of the solution could be to produce chlorine on site. So this has been designed by our sister company, Photalia, and it's based on the quite well-known principle of electrolysis of a salt and water solution. So they improve it in order to make it working on the solar direct drive process. So you just need sun, water, and salt to produce the chlorine, and they had this control box avoiding to do some mistakes, such as the appearance of chlorates, which are toxic, and to have a follow-up and a display of the concentration. So regarding us for water, what's interesting is the first range they develop at 2 grams per liter, which is the basic solution we will inject in water. And they also have a range at 5 grams per liter, which is also known as the DAC-in water, which is an antiseptic and can be useful for health center or other hygiene application. Now, the tricky part for the sustainability is to have a close monitoring of the supply chain and a transparent one. So we have a 2-steps process for that. The first one will be to have a unique ID per pump, and the caretaker of the pump will directly send by with his mobile phone the state of the pump. It's really simple, just it works, it is broken, or it's under maintenance. Only 3 information. This information will be sent directly to a web platform that will update automatically the situation of the pump. So for the example here, it's in Kinshasa. You can see the green points are the pumps that are working, the red one which are not, and the yellow under maintenance. And of course, all the stakeholders will receive an automatic SMS. So the repairman, the spare parts shop, the local private operator, who will have the whole quantity of pump to manage, the authority in charge of water, the collectivity itself, if he has an access to internet, of course. And this is really something simple that we will start to implement next month in Kinshasa, thanks to UNICEF fund. The step 2 is still under process, but we were thinking, since we know how to put a water meter on our pump, why not add a data logger and a RFID chip? So then the caretaker, instead of just sending the state of the pump, with a simple contact using a smartphone or a specific device, can collect all the data, including the volumes that have been pumped out. So this information are really useful because they will, of course, still update the map of the pump. But for the private sector, for example, knowing how much water have been pumped out is really important. So, for example, the local private operator can sell his water in bulk to the caretaker, and this one will sell the water per liter to the user. The collectivity, in some country you have some communal taxes. If you are a private operator who operates the water point, they will know how much water have been pumped, and so how much money they should have back. The government, the financial backer, could also have access to this figure, and for example, they can have a direct access to the money that should have been saved for renewal. Anyway, that's what we're trying to do. So just to conclude, we believe that the situation of the rural water equipment is not good, of course, but it's not a fatality. We know how to pump, we know how to treat water, we know how to monitor it thanks to this new information and communication technologies, and we see a real opportunity for the private sector management. We expect a generation of local income at each level. I mean, when I say private operator, it's not Vernier, it's national company. And this one we earn his money, the caretaker also. And so we expect to reach a sustainable and improved service for the user with no additive cost, meaning by that all the supplementary cost for the hard part or the soft will be borne either by the funders or by the private sector. That's my conclusion. Thank you very much.